Hey guys, it's Coach Smith. I wanted to get out a video to you guys just to touch base with you and talk to you a little bit in light of everything that's going on in our world today. I really do believe that there is some great opportunities that are born out of difficult times like this. I wanted to share a little bit of my perspective. I've lived a little bit, and so I've seen several things happen in my lifetime. This is definitely unique, but one of the most important things I've learned is, where your mind goes, you go. It's really important for you to have the right mindset as we go through times like this. So I've really been thinking a lot about you guys, and I want you guys to be at your best, and I want you to learn from this and grow from this. So I wrote a few things down. Number one, I want you to focus on what matters most. What matters most? If I were to draw two circles here, okay, one circle is the question is, does it matter? Okay. And another circle is, can you influence it? Influence it. Okay. What I want you to learn from this is, and pay attention to, is I want you to focus on, spend your time and your mental energy right there at the intersection of whether it matters and can you influence it. If you can't influence it, even though it matters, if you can't influence it, don't spend your time there. Don't spend your mental energy there. If you can influence it, but it doesn't matter, it has no meaning, don't spend your time there. Only focus on things that both matter and you can influence. So your mindset during times like this, very, very important. I want you to have some perspective. I think perspective is always so important, and I think one of the challenges of our society today is people don't have proper perspective. And that's why I think history is probably the most important subject taught in schools today, because it teaches us about our past, and it gives us proper perspective as we move forward. In my lifetime, guys, I'm going to talk about some crises that I've dealt with, that I've experienced in my lifetime. Going way back, the Cuban Missile Crisis, when the Soviets were bringing atomic weapons and nuclear bombs into our waterways, and we're going to be aiming them at our country. Really, really interesting time. John F. Kennedy was the president and dealt with that. Very pivotal time. I mean, we thought it was the end of the world as we knew it, and we got through it. We got through it. The Cold War. That was a long period of time in the 60s and 70s and 80s where we were at odds with Russia, and there was a nuclear buildup, and we're all pointing nuclear weapons at each other, and just a lot of uncertainty and a very, very scary time. We got through it. The energy crisis. I remember when I was a little boy, you couldn't get gas in this country. Literally, lines at the gas station were down the street, cars lined up down the street trying to get a gallon or two of gas. We called it the energy crisis. Tough time in our country. Been through 3 major economic downturns where the stock market crashed, kind of like what it's doing right now. People lost their jobs. People had trouble paying their bills. Dealt with the foreclosure crisis about 12 years ago, where people were losing their homes. I was living in California at the time, and it seemed like every second or third home on the street was in foreclosure. That means the bank took it back, and people had to leave their homes. Terrible time. Terrible time. It affected a lot of lives. We got through it. We got through it. Y2K, this is the year 2000. Everybody thought the economy was going to collapse because computers weren't going to be able to reset. There was internal clocks in computers, and they weren't going to be able to continue to function when the clock rolled over for the new year in 2000. And so they called it year 2K, Y2K. And it was a really, really interesting time. It turns out that we did get through it. We got through it just fine. The SARS flu epidemic, the MERS flu epidemic, the Ebola virus of Africa, the AIDS crisis when I was in college. I mean, these were major, major health crises that killed a lot of people. We got through it. We got through it. The Vietnam War, the Afghan War, and the Middle Eastern War. So I've seen some wars. 9/11, when we were attacked on our own home soil, when the World Trade Centers were People drove planes, hijacked jets, and drove them into the World Trade Centers, killed like 3,000 people in New York. You guys weren't even born yet, but your parents certainly remember that. Tough time in our country. Tough time in our country. We went to war because of that. We got through it. We got through it. And what happens with each one of these crises, guys, is the United States, our country, gets stronger as a result, and we get better as a result. We come out of these situations more equipped, better able to deal with things in the future. We learn, we grow. And that's what winners do, and that's what champions do. And that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to come through this stronger and a better leader. And just like I want you to go through difficult times, difficult football seasons for your team and for yourself, and I want you to grow from it. I want you to get better. Because that's what winners do. They go through difficult times, and that's how you grow. When you experience adversity is when you grow. When you have success, you don't really grow that much, because it's when you have adversity that you ask questions. At least that's what winners do. They ask questions. You know, sometimes I ask people, hey, what do you call somebody who gets knocked down and they get back up, and they get knocked down and they get back up, and they get knocked down again and they keep getting back up? What do you call that person? And people will often say, well, I'll call that person, you know, resilient or tough, right? Well, I don't. I call that person stupid, okay? What we want that person to do before they get back up. Yes, we want them to get back up. We want them to ask questions before they get back up. I call these the interrogative questions. I talk about these in my book. The who, what, where, when, why. They start with W's, okay? What just happened? Why did that happen? Who do I need to see to get better next time? What do I got to do differently? What do I have to read? What do I have to learn so that this doesn't keep happening to me? Okay, that's what winners do during times of adversity, is they learn and they grow from it, and they come out stronger, more well equipped. And that's what I want you guys to do in life. So what can you do? What can you be doing right now while you're off school? You got a bunch of time on your hands. There's a lot of negative news on TV. The first thing I want you guys to do is I want you to be positive, and I want you to control your mindset. And that means getting away from social media, getting away from the news on TV. As much as possible, because it's all negative and it's all designed to sell. It's all designed to get people to watch so that their ratings go up and they make more money. Okay, that's how it works. So get away from that stuff as much as possible. Stay positive, because we're going to get through this, just like we've gotten through other things as well. We live in a very resilient country that always comes out on top. We always attack things head on and we get through it. But what can you do? Number one is you can reach out to your teammates. Tom Brady just signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He had one request when he signed. He wanted the phone numbers of every one of his teammates. Is there any question why Tom Brady is one of the greatest quarterbacks and has 6 Super Bowls when that's how he operates? What have you done during this time off from school to connect and build relationships with your teammates? During times of difficulty, stress, and adversity, people look for leaders. I want you to be that leader. That means you have to reach out to your teammates. A simple text, hey man, I'm just thinking about you, I wonder how you're doing. Or hey man, I just wanted to touch base with you and let you know I was thinking about you. Or hey man, I hope you're doing well, you've been on my mind, reach out to me if there's anything I can do for you. Reach out to them, hey man, how's your family doing? Right, miss you. Can't wait to get back on the field and go to work with you. Okay, how many of you have done that? You need to. You need to reach out to your teammates during times of uncertainty and stress, and it's a chance for you to emerge and elevate as a leader. I can't overemphasize that enough. What a great opportunity this is for you, the quarterback, to elevate your status with your teammates as a leader. These are the times when people look for leadership. Not when everything's going well. They look for leadership during times of chaos. And we're in it right now. So I want you to reach out to your teammates and your coaches and be a leader. Let them know you're thinking about them. Ask them what you can do to help. Okay? What else can you be doing? Well, you can be working out. You can be improving your speed and your agility and your strength. You can be building skill. You can be throwing the football with a brother or sister or a friend. There's a lot of things you can be doing. Okay? If you're not a member of my online QB Academy, you should be. Okay, I've got over 65 instructional videos on there on how to develop yourself in all aspects of becoming a great quarterback. $179. Are you kidding me? That's about what I charge for a private lesson. And there's over 65 videos that you can spend time watching videos, learning how to become a better leader, learning how to become a better quarterback, understanding the game of football better, going into the film room with college offensive coordinators and breaking down film and learning the mental aspects of the game. Okay? You need to be spending time watching that. So if you don't have a membership to that, go to winningedgeskills.com and be sure to get signed up for it. It's tremendous. If you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. Okay? But you won't. You'll love it. Okay? So grow yourself. Read some books. I wrote a book that you all should be reading. And if you're not reading my book, read someone else's. I don't care. But what I do care about is I want you to grow yourself. I want you to learn. I want you to read about leadership. Listen to podcasts. If you don't like to read, no problem. Audiobooks, podcasts. There's a lot of things you guys can be doing to elevate your leadership knowledge. Okay? And so get into some books and grow yourself during these times. You've got a lot of time on your hands. Use it wisely. Okay? Grow yourself, because I'll tell you this, you can't lead someone else unless you grow yourself first. James Allen wrote a book called As a Man Thinketh. He had a great book. He has a great quote in that. It's one of my favorite quotes. He says, most people are anxious to improve their circumstances in life, but few are unwilling to grow themselves. So true. Everybody wants to change their circumstances, but few are willing to change themselves. You got to change yourself first before you can lead other people. So remember, where your mind goes, you go. Focus on what matters most. Stay positive. Have perspective on all of this. And use this time wisely to grow yourself. If I can help you, please reach out to me. Call me, text me, shoot me an email. I'm here to help. You guys have a great day.